Alrighty, so we have a special podcast episode today for the YouTube channel and our YouTube group. We're actually interviewing a carrier rep for the first time I think we've ever done. We had Wayne Daniel on talking about the product he's distributing, but we've never had a true carrier rep on to talk about a product. And I bet it's a product that you haven't heard of before. And I mean that in a good way, because this industry is full of products. This industry is full of new toys on a regular basis these days. But why would you pick up a new toy? What's different about it? Why do you want to learn about it? We're here to talk about Polish Falcons today, and we have their rep, Jared, on with us today. So, Jared, introduce yourself to the YouTube audience, and then we're going to tackle a little bit about Polish Falcons, the final expense product, and some of the new developments you have coming to market.
Well, thank you for having me here. That's exciting to hear. This is the first time bringing a carrier on talking about, again, we'll be diving into focusing on our final expense product because there's a lot of exciting things going on with Polish Falcons. So a little bit about me, real quick. I've been insurance licensed. I've been in the industry for 25 years now. Roughly 15 of those years, I've been with fraternal carriers. And looking at, so what makes, fraternal carrier different, the member benefits that are included, because as a fraternal company, rather than pay taxes, we're required to give those tax dollars back to our members and the communities in which they live in, which sets us apart. So I've been gravitating towards fraternal companies. I've been on board with PFA now for about a year and a half. Very exciting times. We'll be talking about the latest and greatest in technology and products. And real quick note, what gravitated me to PFA, Polish Falcons of America, that's a very unique name. So I was looking for a new opportunity with my other carrier. And looking for a role as sales director in the insurance industry, because this is my background. This is I know products, contracting, commissions, sales. I've been out there. My first job out of college, I was an advisor with Waddell and Reed, so selling insurance and mutual funds. So I've been in everyone's shoes, and helping them make it easier to get that sale in the door, put that client in the best possible financial position. So I know the industry, but I was looking, and I know the fraternal space, as I mentioned, and Polish Falcons of America. Well, my last name is Gasancic. I'm very Polish. I've been to Poland before, and so I probably would have passed it over, but I'm like, I got to spend some time finding out more about this company. And so they were at that time, looking to build out distribution, redefine products, how to submit business, all online contracting process. And so it was all said and done a really good fit for me with my experience in the industry, working with fraternals, building out distribution. So that's what brings Chris and I here today.
Awesome. I remember I reached out to Polish Falcons in a very similar story. I'm always looking for a product no one's heard of, a cutting edge no one has yet, especially for our agents. And I'm like, I'm also Polish. I haven't been to Poland just yet. And I called them and I'm like, this product is awesome. It's on paper. Oh, come on. There's a phone interview. No, I can't do it. The comp, I wish. And then a year later, I reached back out. And what did I find out? An e-application. All right, keep talking. The comp is better. I love to hear it. The process has improved. Let's do it. So I got contracted just a few months ago, sent a few pieces of business to make sure it was real, and it absolutely is. So let's start with talking about the final expense product. Is your product stupid expensive, top of the market pricing? No one's really going to be able to afford it. Everyone's going to replace it. Or is this really as ultra competitive as I've noticed in the rates?
It is very competitive. I look at it. We have the 3 Ps going in. We have the product, which we'll dive in, give you more details because it's available with level and graded. So very generous on the table ratings as far as graded. And so the pricing is there. We're a price leader in the industry. And, Chris, you mentioned, when I first started, I looked at the comp and I'm like, this is, we could have the best price, the best process, which is real slick. I've never seen, again, being in the industry so long, it is not only decisioned in 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, it is issued. It is all electronically, and we'll touch on that in more detail. So you got the product, you got the pricing, you have the process with this, and you touched on comp, and so that was one of the things that one of my undertakings is this is you could have the price and everything, but no one can sell this. You can't so as you mentioned I revised comp on it, so it is literally low cost leader, and that is you're going out there in the field. One of the benefit is, no one's going to be able to come behind you and replace that business with the same type of coverage. So you don't have to worry about that business being replaced down the road. And you literally are putting your client in the best possible financial position. Again, not to name names, one of the carriers for a same benefit, for level coverage, their pricing is almost double. Now, their comp is going to be higher on that because they have that huge spread. We are not, again, we're looking at the comp is very compatible, for as far as the pricing, but the process is where we really shine.
If you go into insurance toolkits, which we're a huge promoter of, and you turn on Polish Falcons, unless you're under an agency account, and then have your upline turn them on, or get an individual account and you turn on Polish Falcons and you run the rates and you see the entire final expense marketplace, Polish Falcons is going to come up in that top pricing category 9 out of 10 times. There's a few times it falls into the middle, and the middle is still completely fair, but 9 times out of 10, this is going to be the low price leader in line with many, far better than many other carriers you're going to see. And I'm trying to be generic about names for compliance purposes, but run the rates, you'll see super competitive in price. It's also not like you're going to be writing it at a 50% commission level. It's a fair comp across the board. And Jared, let's talk about the e-application process. It's the iCover platform. You guys call it Flight. It is the premier software for instant decision e-applications. Talk to the audience a little bit about your instant decision process.
I'm very pleased with our partnership. I was out there. That was one of my tasks, was to find a e-app vendor. And originally, Chris, all I was looking for is a nice, SLEAK E-App. Point of sale would be nice, but I came across them at an event, and not only point of sale, but decision. So our final expense product, it's very generous. It's for as far as underwriting. There's level coverage, and then there's graded. So graded, if anything happens the first year, 30% death benefit. Second year, 70% death benefit. Years 3 and beyond, 100%. With level coverage, accidental death rider is available. Plus, there's a single premium option, which is very unique. If you do have that client that does have some funds that wants to make one premium and never pay again, that option is available. And I fully, some companies, or carriers, they don't like to share their table ratings. Our graded coverage goes all the way up to including a table 16. That is very generous. So again, this is final expense. Issue ages are 50 to 80, 5,000 up to 25,000. So with the Flight, as you mentioned, you simply, if you're brand new to the industry, or if you're industry experienced, this is going to save you time. You're not chasing down, you're not doing a personal health interview, you're not following up with an underwriter to see what the outcome is, on the spot. And I call it a 5-minute journey. You put in the client's information, and especially if I'm talking to somebody brand new in the industry, you don't need to know what a personal health interview, what a attending physician statement is, what table ratings are. All you need is a computer and internet access, because it is very remote friendly. So you go through, there's 10, you put in the client's information, there's 10 medical questions. Then at the end, so in the meantime, while those questions are being answered, we're doing an RX history. And at the end, when you're done with those questions, say 5 minutes, it's decision right then and there. And, I say there's going to be 3 outcomes. It's going to be level, graded, or if they don't fit, it's going to be decline. But if level or graded, then you just finish the application another 5 minutes. You get the beneficiary information, if they have any other insurance, payment information, sign, and done. And I do like this, the signature part. It's one of my favorite features of this, very remote friendly. So if you're doing face-to-face, take your computer or your tablet, they sign with their finger. But remote sign, I like the text feature. If you've entered their phone number, click on remote sign, send link, they get a link, they click on the link, They don't have to enter, I know other carriers, their date of birth, last four of their social security numbers, a verification code. All they do, click on the link, open it up. There's a summary of the application, sign with the finger. Within seconds, it's back on the screen, submit the application, you walk away, and it's done. And again, this can save you time because you're not chasing that down. So just speed, simplicity, ease of use for, not only on the client's end, but also for you. You're not chasing this down. What, if it's issued right there on the spot, you move on to your next client. And so again, which is real game changer. I say, artificial intelligence, meets final expense. And so it is, the fastest and easiest process combined, with the product, with level and graded. Again, it's final expense. We don't expect clients to be in perfect health.
Exactly. I think it's important to reiterate there is no phone interview during the application or after the application for final expense, right?
Correct. Yep. No personal health interview. I know that's another one that had to be done. So again, no personal health interview. There's no final underwrite review. It is done right there on the spot. Their agent receives a copy of the application. Certificate is mailed out within 5 days to the owner. That was just actually a new feature that's going live, I believe, tomorrow, September 1st. Now you can also have a separate owner and payer on there, where before it was owner insured, same person. But so again, continued enhancements on this. So it is from seeing a lot of different vendors and carriers and what they have out there. This is, you combine the pricing, the process, the product is. And again, this is new to us. This is new to, Chris and I have been working together for 2-3 months, maybe, again, and very positive, feedback from the field on how it can change the way, you submit business.
Yeah, I got to tell you, there are a lot of different ways to write business, a lot of different platforms. We love them all because we need to love them all, and we need each other cohesively. But the iCover platform that KSKJ uses, that Polish Falcons uses, is the best software to write final expense business on. There's no interview. There's no pending business. The decision is rendered right there within 5 to 7 minutes. Jared, there's e-applications in our business. I'm sure you're aware. In the first 5 to 7 minutes, I'm not even finished the demographic screen yet. I haven't even made it to the underwriting questions yet. And then I go through all that process and I find out 42 minutes later, they're declined. By that point in time, I could have written 10 applications with the iCover platform. Thankfully, that's what you guys picked out.
And again, very fortunate to be working with them and very nimble. It's a great team, to work with. And one of the things, on that, just with other e-apps out there, these are non-reflective questions. They don't reflect, say if somebody's a diabetic, and it can drill down to 6-12 questions after you answer yes to being a diabetic. You put in diabetic, and then there's a series of 6 questions from mild to extreme. That's it. You move on. So again, it's a huge time saver, just speed and simplicity.
Absolutely. I have another P to add to your 3 Ps, which is an absolutely perfect presentation. It's personal touch. I think in this industry, there's a lot of carriers that you're nothing to them. I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just realistic. You're just an agent number. You're just another one. And there are millions of agents in their distribution. You guys have the personal touch element. I know the first couple apps you submit with any carrier, none of them are going to go perfect. You're learning the application. They're learning you. It's all brand new. It's going to be a rough patch. And I brought on a carrier about a year ago, and the first couple apps didn't go well because you're learning them, they're learning you, and they terminated me. I'm like, it's only been 4 applications. You got to give me a minute here. I'm trying to figure out where you belong in my bag, when you're going to take it, when you won't, introducing you to a new client. And they just axed it way too quick. And we're still learning each other. Some policies went well, some didn't, but that's the learning process. And in the personal touch side of things, your accounting department is on point, customer service is on point, questions with you are on point. Can you talk a little bit about the advantage of personal touch that you can provide agents that other big players just simply can't?
Yeah, we are a small shop, so we do have that ability to offer that. Again, we're early on. I'm early on building out distribution. And again, being in that space, in the field, working with multiple carriers, again, that makes a difference. As I mentioned, I'm, here to, support, Chris, you and your agent's business in any way that I can, because we all are in this, for the same thing at the end of the day, putting the clients in the best position, giving them the coverage they need and a couple dollars in our pocket. That's, we're doing the same thing. And, so being there and that does make a difference. And, we'll continue, to add staff as we continue to build out. Because again, we are, in the early stages. We're going to be adding, additional products onto Flight. We're going to have, eventually all of our products on Flight with that same technology, with that, the same flow, the same, instant decision, the same instant issue. We're moving away from, any, again, that personal health interview, any attending physician statement, any paramedic. Because there's still, again, now talking to agents these days, I was talking to, the way, because we are moving, our traditional whole life, that's going to be our next life product on board, scheduled for middle of September, is, that higher face amounts, there's a pyramid, and the agent looks at me, or actually, I'm sorry, over the phone, and he's like, pyramid, what is that? Exactly. You don't, clients do not, this is today's world. You don't want somebody coming to your house, drawing blood from you. And again, you touched on, I cover, several times. And one of the great things of working with them is, just quick plug for them. Again, a great team to work with. They underwriting experts. They took their underwriting expertise and they brought it live to an e-app. So that's where, so they take all of our underwriting, requirements, work very closely with reinsurance, with our actuary. And that's how, the combination of working with all those teams can bring out, the latest with pricing, with underwriting, to the electronic forefront.
Well said. Got a crazy question, because I love every carrier equally, but some carriers are getting away from physically printing a policy. Yes. I understand we don't want to do a pyramid anymore. It is 2023, but if I'm selling Miss Mary, who's 80 or not 82, you wouldn't take them, 72 a policy, she's going to pay on this policy for the rest of her life, however long she lives, and it's going to be a good portion of the little money that she gets. Jared, do you think she should receive a paper policy for buying insurance?
No. And none of us believe that here.
No. That means like the actual physical Polish Falcons printed policy that you guys send out.
Yeah, they should receive that. And I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. Mm-hmm. And our certificate package is I'm impressed with it. So it's in you get the our member magazine, which comes out once every quarter. It's hard copy. I'm impressed with it. You even get a little Polish Falcons pin in addition to your certificate. Talks about member benefits, our mission and vision statement. And so, it is, we're recognizing, because, to your point, Chris, they're going to be paying for the rest of their life, and we value and appreciate them, as a client.
Scott Burke once said, Scott's a legend in the industry, that originally policies looked like the Old Testament or the Bible themselves, and policies should look important. They should feel important. The client's purchasing an intangible item. Let's be realistic here. They're never going to use it. They're going to be dead. But what they're getting should be tangible as evidence of what they're purchased. I got a policy from a carrier recently that doesn't send out anything but a single piece of half-folded junk mail. Like, I can't even mail that to the client, because then they're going to cancel it because it looks like crap. Like, right. I love the product, but your senior market still wants something. Your policies are nice. They're printed. They come quickly. They come with a Falcon. Like, how cool is that? If you don't like Falcons, send me the pin. With our final 5 minutes that we have here, what's coming next? State expansion, new products on Flight. What should I look forward to next as a contracted agent, or potentially as a soon-to-be contracted agent?
Great question. Great way to end it. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff. As I mentioned, continued enhancement with our final expense. We can now draft the first through the 28th, other payer owner on that. But we are going live September 1st with our annuities on flight. So we have fixed annuities. We have 2 MIGAs currently. We have a 2 and 3 year, and then we have a flex deferred 5 and 9 year. And it is going to be the same flow, the same process. You log in, now you're going to have the choice of final expense or annuities. You put in the client's information. With annuities, there's no medical questions. It's just the only difference. There's 2 main differences, which is going to be there's suitability questions. And then if you're doing a transfer or rollover, 1035 exchange, where is that coming from? How much money? But that same remote sign for the insured owner, if other than the insured. So that is, we're very excited about that. So the big news is going out next week. So in addition to adding our annuities to flight to the E-App platform, we're bumping up the rates on the 5 and 9 year. We're adding another 0.25% commission at the same time. So we're very positive about that. We're excited to have that on again, just with the speed and simplicity. Again, get the signatures collected. Again, it's an annuity. But up next, as I mentioned earlier, as far as life products, we have our traditional whole life, which is slotted for mid-September. What I really like, and I'll just quick on this product, more details to come, is it's very customizable. There's different payment options. There's a single pay, there's a 5 pay, there's a 10 pay, there's a 20 pay, there's traditional pay. So you can work with whatever budget your client's on. But in addition to that, you can add a 10, 20, or 30-year term rider up to 3 times the base amount. So you could give them, the coverage that they need right now, whether it's for they still have, children in college if something were to happen. They got mortgage out there. You can give them the short-term, long-term coverage combined into one with whatever payment option. And again, that same process, put in the client's information, go through a series of medical questions, again, not only issued, but approved on the spot, again, followed by our term. Last thing. So again, bringing, the latest and greatest in technology, making it easy for, you out there in the field, but also for your clients on that. State availability.
What's the age range on that whole life product?
0 to 80.
And what are the face amount options on it?
Right now, we are landing on the final max. So that is still, being worked on with, we work with Swiss Re as our reinsurance on that. We're potentially looking at, again, depending on the age of the client, but 500,000. And the minimum on that is 15,000. Again, we're still working through the final details, so don't quote me on that. But again, that's looking for somebody younger than 50. Again, very it's still going to be very competitively priced on that. So
yeah, I would love to see it match right up with the whole life or the final expense, where that stops at 25 and this picks up at 25 and 1. But that's way above my pay grade. I'm just a field guy trying to find the business as you decide how to make sure you can pay the business, because it works both sides of the fence. But instant decision, 0 to 80, high face amount options with a term rider. I mean, it smells like a product you heard of from other fraternals, because he knows what he's doing in product design, and having that personal touch that you guys provide makes this super exciting. State expansion. You guys are in how many states right now? I don't know if you have it memorized. I don't yet.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Chris, I absolutely do have our states that we're in right now memorized. Unfortunately, when I came in, that was one of the first things, we're going to be working on, because we do have, what I call a small footprint. We are actually currently in 9 states right now. We just had our 9th state approved actually a week ago today, Arizona. So we are currently in, I don't know if you want me to list them out or not.
Go right ahead.
So currently, we're headquartered in, I'm remote here in Minneapolis. We're in PA, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana. We just added Arizona.
Nice.
And the other, right now, 7 states we're waiting on for this year. Minnesota, of course, where I reside, Ohio, Texas, Florida, and I am missing one.
That's
Trying
still a
to,
great footprint. You're in a state I'm in. That's really what matters to me, but I'm not the only one in the industry. You're in a lot of really valuable states, things like Wisconsin, Arizona. As you're naming those states, I'm thinking of agents in those states that this product could make a big difference in their business. Illinois, we have a guy out in Illinois that's writing you and writing a lot and writing good
right.
quality business. Wisconsin's a great state. I'd love for you to be in Maryland, where I'm physically sitting right now. Maybe that'll be in 2025. But state expansion is really, really valuable, especially a very quick contracting process. I also want to touch on something that sounds silly. Carriers, some of them, I love them all equally, are really bad at easy to understand commission statements. Like, I'm busy, you're busy. I don't have 30 minutes to figure out if I got paid for Miss Betty, if I got paid renewals, if I got a chargeback, if I had an agent lose a policy. I need easy to understand commission statements. Are yours some type of accounting hieroglyphics? Do I need a code to translate your commission statements? Or can I understand if I actually got paid for what I did?
You can actually understand, what you got paid on, how you got paid on. And on that note, that is one of the things that's been being worked behind the scenes to make it even more enhanced. And that's right around the corner. Doing an agency dashboard, you can see everything right there, so it's even going to be clear. I mean, it is clear today, but it's even going to be more user friendly, moving forward, because that is something I didn't touch on. I mean, we are doing a whole back office behind the scenes redo again. It's just not only going to make it easier for us as a carrier, as we build out, as we build up distribution, add more products. But again, for you out there in the field writing that whole tech, I mean, that is going to take, that's going to be a process. That's going to take time, but it's going to make it even easier, because Chris, I know exactly, what you're referring to. And again, I don't want to point out names, but there was this one carrier where, and, I wasn't, on the commission side of things, but I would see commissions come through, on the sales desk. And I would have to ask commissions, what does this mean? What am I looking at? This, and what's going out? We have to do so. But no, it is, and again, it can be, continue to be enhanced. And again, we are investing a lot of time, a lot of money on technology and process. Again, it's very exciting. As I mentioned, we are expanding. We're going to have all of our products on Flight with, instant issue, point of sale, more than point of sale underwriting, state expansion on that, potentially new products for next year. And again, having myself, on the sales side of things, because I know we need and what's needed out there, for, agents, and agencies out there in the field.
Last but not least, a lot of carriers don't do this nowadays, and it seems kind of strange because the business is expensive to be in. If I get contracted with Polish Falcons and I write a piece of business, am I going to receive advanced commission on my business?
You certainly have that option. That was the things, as I mentioned, I went through and so right now comp has been updated on final expense, on annuities, on whole life, our next product. I still need to work on term. But that was one of the things when I started. It was just as earned. And, okay, we're going to need to change this. Agents out there in the field, whether you're new or whether you've been in the business for years, but you're spending, in the final expense market, it's not cheap if you're paying for buying for leads. That is a big upfront, and like, we're not, again, when I started, like, I can't sell this with the comp, and with the earned only. So now, with all of our life products, you have as earned is certainly an option, because there are the ones that they've been burned in the past, and again, that does you run across a bad group of clients, and they're all you get chargebacks. So as earned is an option, or 9 months advance is an option. And again, that is, especially as I mentioned, in this space, whether you're new, you're just getting started, or there is, like as I mentioned, there's a lot of overhead costs when writing final expense, and like I said, getting those clients. So again, a lot of changes have taken place, a lot of positive changes have taken place here at PFA since I've been on board, and many more to come.
So in short, if you don't have Polish Falcons and you're in one of those 9 states that he mentioned in the video, I'll make sure to get a nice graphic, a nice map of the country, and have the states that you guys are in so we can publish that with the post. You can help me out with that. But if you're in one of the states that Polish Falcons is in, it would be silly not to try them. It would be silly to not see how easy the application process is, how ultra competitive the rates are, how liberal a lot of the underwriting is, and good Lord, a whole life product with a term rider and limited pay, an annuity, all available on the same platform. If you're in one of these states, let us know. Let's get you contracted, and you can see if it's as good as advertised today. Jared, thank you for being on. And hopefully, as this product grows, the state expansion continues, we can do a follow-up video so people can learn more about what you guys have to offer the final expense market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I again appreciate this opportunity.